Kevin Flynn, you're a local comic on the island. Where are you? Where are you?
I live in New York City. So yeah. So I've lived in New York 15 years now. So
and you're a Boston guy, though.
Well,
you're born in Boston.
I went to grad school in Boston, and so I started doing my stand-up comedy in Boston.
Oh, you did?
I went to Boston University, and I used to walk home, past the comedy club, and decided to go in and start doing stand-up comedy. And so I'm about 3 credits short of my graduate degree, and my parents were so happy.
I have to ask you though. Doing people think that they can do it. They think, my God. How do you deal with the nerves of when you first start to do it? And do those nerves actually still happen?
No. I think
when you first started, tell me about that.
It's almost like sports. It's almost like the jitters, pre-game jitters. Yeah. That's what I get now. I get like an excitement, but I'm not nervous. I'm, just kind of psyched to get going.
Yeah, right.
When you first go on stage, it's nerve-wracking, and so it takes a couple of years really to sort of write material, continue to go up on stage, to learn the craftsmanship of how to just carry yourself on stage, to become who you actually are on stage. So that takes a few years. So the first time I went on stage at Stitch's Comedy Club in Boston, I had a pair of tennis shoes on, no socks, and I was sweating so much as I walked up on stage. It was
that must have.
You could hear the squishing. Oh. And so for the next 6 years, I basically did stand up every night, 2-3 times a night at different places, and then started doing television and all that. So.
How do you know when you're funny though? I mean, you really rely on that audience, don't you?
I think it's a lot like.
What happens when you? I mean, that's the worst thing about that.
Well, the audience doesn't know everything. They really don't know everything. You have to give your personal view and your comedic take on something, and you learn that almost as a writer, as a craftsman, an artist. What you have to say, and then it goes through the stand-up comedy process.
It's a performance.
It's a performance, but it's a written performance. So a lot of stuff's written. I improv a lot in the moment, but I have written material, and so you basically learn how to kind of write for who you are, what you truly want to say, and that takes a long time, because it's almost like being in a rock band where you can sort of do the easy laughs, the best of kind of, which would be like being a cover band. People will laugh, they'll enjoy your music, but when you try to start to do your own music, people will be like, don't want to hear your tune. I want to hear the stuff that I can just party to or whatever. So stand-up comedy is the same way. You start to try and say, okay, I can make people laugh. Now what do I want to talk about on stage? So
right.
And when you first start,
how do you write your stuff? What would be an insider's concept of what you do?
Well, you write basically about what you live and what your views become, and people can disagree with them, but the key is to make them funny. And so I say, like, politically, my political stuff, someone will go, I totally disagree with him politically, but that was funny.
Are you doing more political stuff?
I do a lot of political stuff.
I did not know that. So how would you define that, your political stuff? I mean, are you more like...
I tell you what, my journey has been very interesting. I was from a very conservative town in Connecticut, and
Like Dennis Miller's conservative?
No.
Okay.
Dennis went another way.
He sure did.
9/11 happened, and Dennis just went.
Did he go off the deep end?
I don't want to say that about Dennis, my brethren. I have not seen him in a long time. But what I used to love about Dennis Miller was well-written, thoughtful, and you never knew what he was going to say. Like, you never knew where he was going to come out on something.
I know.
It could be left of center, right of center. You never knew. Like with Rush Limbaugh talks, you know exactly what he's going to say about every subject all the time. Right. Miller was always a surprise. He'd throw you a curveball. After 9/11, Dennis went far right with his views. So, that's his art, and he's funny, so he can go up there and try and do it.
In your case, okay, getting back to what...
So in my case, I think I was somewhat right of center maybe when I was younger, and it used to, I was doing stand-up comedy in Cambridge, Massachusetts, or Boston, and, everybody's young and idealistic, and everyone was very liberal and very left. And I always thought, oh, isn't that so easy? Isn't that so simple? But as I've lived and traveled and gone around the world, I've definitely moved left of center big time. So that's reflected in my comedy and in my personal journey. So, and I also, when you first start doing comedy, you're doing comedy about, geez, my mom and dad used to do this and that growing up. Then it becomes about you talk about college, then all of a sudden now I'm talking about kids, divorce, you've lived some life. So it becomes not so much what you're experiencing, but what you're commenting on.
So now, in your career, where are you right now in your career?
Well, you know, I'm on. I do some political commentary for Fox. I'm always the liberal guy on Fox News.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to check you out.
So,
I check out Fox.
Yeah. So I do that, and I work all the clubs in the city, in New York.
Yeah.
I'm producing the comedy festival.
Of course.
You know, here,
Yep.
which takes a lot of work.
I bet
it's a lot of work.
Once it's over, you're starting it up again, aren't you?
Yeah, it pretty much never ends.
Yeah.
You know, we were just watching somebody go down one way on a bike.
It's
getting
summertime,
nice
isn't it?
summertime. They're getting ready for the rules, getting used to the rules.
Yeah.
But I write a lot. I produce some stuff. So I do a lot of corporate events. Do a lot of comedy clubs still.
Yep,
I still work the improvs around, and if I'm in the city, I do 2-3 nights a week. You know, at Gotham or somewhere else. So I think it's fun for me as a stand-up comic, and then as a producer with this stuff. And then I've developed this stand-up and learn through the comedy festival, which is basically teaching people how to do stand-up comedy through just what I've learned, on the road and everything, and it basically teaches self-esteem and self-confidence.
That's a great idea.
Right.
I like the name, Stand Up and Learn.
Stand Up and Learn, and it's not like.
Is it a school?
No, it's just a curriculum that we've come up with that basically takes you through the 5 stages that you need to go through to sort of come up with a routine. And it's not so much to be a stand-up comic, but it's basically for kids or teenagers or even adults to basically say, I can look someone in the eye, I can tell a story, I can deliver it on stage, and all the things that helps in life, in business, in the world.
So how do you get people to do it?
Oh, there's a lot of people who want to do stand-up comedy.
I know.
They want to try. And, I taught some of the kids here. We had about 13 kids.
So you do seminar type?
Young kids, right.
I see. How long does the seminar last?
Well, we can do a weekend seminar.
It's a weekend.
Yeah, but what I've tried to develop is curriculum that can be delivered to a school, whether a high school that's, working on it here. The Gateway School in Manhattan is using the curriculum now. Another school called the DeVroe Glenholm School, which these are special needs kids and some autistic kids who are starting to do stand-up comedy. And it teaches them to, tell a story, beginning, middle, and end. Look at everyone in the eye. It doesn't have to be fall down, laugh, funny, but it's your story and your view, and that's important. And so it's been really successful. And it's a class I would have loved to have taken when I was
just going to say that.
An ADD kid in a Catholic school.
You as a comedian?
It's helped me for sure. I would imagine, it's almost like a musician teaching music helps him with his style.
Exactly.
So I've enjoyed it immensely. I really have, and a lot of people are helping me work on it. Working with Yale University.
Do we have one here coming up on Nantucket?
Well, the kids are going to perform. They performed here already once.
Yep.
And it's wild to see kids.
You're doing it with the kids here?
Yeah.
But what about adults? Would you want to do it for adults?
Yeah, we can do it with adults for sure. But what I wanted to do is sort of basically the festival supports this curriculum. And so, we gave this class, 6-week class to the kids for free on Nantucket, and they performed, and it was a sold-out show, and the kids were walking and talking and telling stories about their parents, and it was very cool and very empowering. So, we're very happy about it. Yeah,
okay,
it feels good.
And then now we've got the big event. Tell me about that.
Big event. Well, the 26th, it starts out with Ladies' Night, a night of funny women, which is right down here at the Dreamland.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful space.
Oh yeah.
Walked through it again yesterday, and
it's going to be there. Great.
Yeah. We have a pre-cocktail party before, and then the women's night is going to be at the Dreamland, and then Friday night is the Boston, New York Comedy Smackdown, which is 3 comics from Boston, 3 from New York, and the Boston comics are Steve Sweeney and Jimmy Tingle and Tom Cotter, who was just on America's Got Talent, and then some New York comics as well.
Out at Jetties?
Out at Jetties Beach,
Good.
Friday and Saturday night. Yep. And then Saturday night is Brian Regan. Brian and Dennis Regan, actually, who are old friends of mine from way back, as long as we've been going back, Gino.
Sure.
And Brian is the biggest theater draw in the country this last year. He's on a big cross-country tour, and he does 3,500 seat theaters. He just sold out in 5 theater nights in a row at 3,500 people a piece. It's like he's got, and he's coming. He's a great guy, and he's clean too. So it's actually one night that's going to be. You can bring a teenage kid to this.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Always nice. The Smackdown on Friday night? No, it's a little more.
Good.
A little more Smackdown.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be at that one.
You be at that one? Yeah. I'll be laughing at that one too. So and it's all for Stand Up and Learn. These guys come out and we interview them and they give tips on you know, how they deal with hecklers or how they write their material, how they deal with current events, all kinds of stuff. And it helps with the program. And it's great because they come out to Nantucket, and they're really, you know, people like to come out to Nantucket. I've noticed for some reason, including myself.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, thank you.
Gino, absolutely. Good to see you.
And good luck with the festival again.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll see you on Friday night because that'll be the SmackDown.
You got it, buddy.